Sports Talk Show. Your host is here for the show tonight to interview our special guest, show highlight the Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show.
Welcome everybody to another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. We're going to have an outstanding show for you. It is going to be outstanding. You're going to have a great time today. Definitely so glad to be with you. Hey, it's Friday night. Kick back and relax. You're going to be entertained tonight. We're going to have a great Friday night show for you. I'm Alan. And for those who don't know, this is the Alford Sports Talk Show. We're going to go ahead and kick off the show. I just want to let you know right at the top that unfortunately the Blog Talk Radio is down right now. So our show will only be on YouTube for tonight only. It'll be for tonight. You know, unfortunately, the Blog Talk is down, so you won't be able to call in, but you will be able to chat here. And, you know, definitely we can't let technical difficulties slow us down. But unfortunately, the Blog Talk is down right now. Our show will be on YouTube only tonight, so you won't be able to call in, unfortunately, tonight. But that's all right. We're going to go ahead and have a great time. So anyway, before we get the show started, we got to thank one of our outstanding sponsors, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Definitely feel free to go ahead and visit Chef G's right here at beautiful Tampa, Florida, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. That's right, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Get any one of the 4 delicious flavors: honey mustard, heat wave, fusion, and we have the classic right here. He also has Florida sand and brick rub. So definitely it's going to be some great times there. If you can't come down to Tampa, it's all right. Visit FLBBQSauce.com. Again, it's FLBBQSauce.com. Definitely, we're going to do some great things for you tonight. All of the music here tonight that you're hearing throughout the show is by Sam Scola Songs. We're going to talk a lot about Sam Scola Songs and his music and a lot more here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. So without further ado, let's play one of his songs. It's the Chef G Florida Barbecue Sauce song. Let's go.
Comes in 4 varieties. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, Florida Gold honey mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Yes, indeed. Get yourself some Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Again, visit him at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, it's okay. You can take advantage of any one of these delicious Florida sand, brick rib, also, or any one of the 4 great flavors, classic, heat wave, honey mustard infusion, right there at FLBBQSauce.com. Again, it's FLBBQSauce.com. Can't go wrong with any one of them. So, yes. And we're going to talk a lot about some great things that are happening here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Going to start off with that right now. In fact, going to talk about some of the great things that are happening, and then we'll kind of get into the show. But, yes, great thing is you guys have asked, and we have delivered. We now have right there, AllenAlfordSportsTalkShow.com. Again, it's AllenAlfordSportsTalkShow.com. Go to the website, visit frequently because we're updating it. It's live right now. It's a lot of great things, but one of the big components of any website is you have to be able to update it. We're going to keep on adding some of the great features on the website. You'll be able to go ahead and check the sponsors page. Any one of the sponsors I talked about tonight, I just talked about Chef G's, you can visit any one of those websites or any of their profiles right from the website. That's right, AllenAlfordSportsTalkShow.com. You can check out the show sponsors. You can even check out Sam Scola songs. You can connect with any one of them right there on the website. That's right. It's awesome. And other great features we have on the website too. Now you will have the capability of making a small donation to the show to support the show. If you do that, you will get a shout out right here on the show. There's a couple of different tiers. There's the introductory one for only $5. You'll get a shout out on the show, and I'll make sure I mention you here in the show. For $20, you'll get a shout out on the show. Plus, you will get a banner. You see how it says AllenAlfordSportsTalkShow.com. You will get a banner posted up too. We're going to be also adding some great things like birthday announcements. You'll have opportunity for that too. That's coming soon too. And also you can listen to any one of the shows, past, current, or present, right there on the website. From here on in, anytime I post up a show, there will not be any show links. It will be right to the website. You can go right there. Fortunately, Blog Talk was down, but that is something that I will work on too. Now I know that if Blog Talk's not working, because you can go right to Blog Talk and listen to the show, now we're going to have to add on the YouTube, where you can go to the YouTube right there from the website, but I'm going to make it easier for you guys to have it where you can listen or watch right there on the website. So we're updating it. All the show sponsors are there. If you're interested in purchasing any of the books that I've written, the 2 books, Say a Little Heart Out, Sweet Poopy, you have an opportunity to purchase them and get it autographed. And you get some insight, some past photos, events that we've done, media requests, and a whole lot more. It's awesome. You can visit any one of our social media platforms right from the website too. Contact, leave message, and it's already getting circulation. People have already reached out to me via the website. It goes that fast. But yes, so that's an awesome thing. Check out the website. Again, it's AllenAlfordSportsTalkShow.com. You'll even see Sam Scola songs there too. And thank you to all the supporters of the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Really appreciate you. So we're going to go ahead and get into the show. So the question is, are the Carolina Panthers justified in benching Bryce Young? I think they gave up on the kid a little too soon. I'm going to be honest with you. I just think that Yes, things are not going well, but I feel the way Carolina Panthers are going about it, they're trying to make Bryce Young the scapegoat. You know, I think you got to give the kid a little bit more time than what he's gotten. He hasn't been that bad. The team is not doing well. It's not just Bryce Young's fault. Just because you have a great and awesome quarterback back there doesn't mean you could cover up all the deficiencies on a team. I think they pulled the plug a little too soon. If you ask me, I would have given it at least 4, 5, 6 games into the season, not after game 2, and pull the plug. I don't think I would give the kid. I would have given the kid ample time to turn things around, and if it didn't seem like it was improving, then you could reevaluate after games maybe 6 or 7, maybe even 8 down the road, because you want to give him that that learning curve. So definitely props to Bryce Young. He handled it well, and definitely keep your head up. So it's not over yet. I would just encourage him that, hey, you have to change the narrative. You got to work even harder and prove them wrong, because you don't want to be there trying to put you in the category of Jamarcus Russell. I don't think, even as poorly as things have been, I still don't think he's Jamarcus Russell. But we'll still be determined. You got to dust yourself up and get back up. Get back up. And the interesting thing is, it's the NFL, but as we also know, there's a couple different. The reason why it's the NFL, it's the not for long league. Not for long. Reason being, the average time in the NFL is 3 years, 6 months. 3 years, 6 months is the average time for an NFL player. Guess what? It's also the NFL, the no fun league. Derek Carr did a celebration, a Michael Jackson celebration. I didn't agree with the fine on it. I think this would have been a situation where you may have given him a warning, or at least if you did fine him, not $14,000. The only thing that was a little kind of thing is Michael Jackson. We know the late great Michael Jackson used to dance, and he used to grab his crotch a lot when he did dance, and that's what Derek Carr got suspended for. So he got a fine for. I shouldn't say it. He got fined $14,000, not suspended. I beg your pardon. Fined $14,000. I think the fine was a bit excessive. I didn't think it was egregious at all. I really didn't. I thought it was kind of funny, and it was kind of cool actually. But the league, the not no fun league, they thought differently. So that's what Michael Jackson do. Grab his crotch all the time. So that's MJ. But maybe he just do the moonwalk. That's it. Just do the moonwalk. No grabbing the crotch. Because that's Michael Jackson used to do that a lot. And that's to me, the late great Michael Jackson is the greatest entertainer that ever lived. I haven't seen anybody come close to him. That's my thoughts on the King of Pop, and he's on a level all by himself. And I miss him, and I'm just so honored that I was able to grow up in his generation and watch him ascend. And his videos used to be, theater events. He'll put up a video, and you literally stop time, and it was awesome. It was awesome. But as far as the NFL games, things are starting to really come into form. Teams are starting to look better. Aaron Rodgers looked really well, really good. I definitely think the Patriots, they're kind of like they had their swing on two sides. Sam Scola is a big fan of the Patriots, so I'll talk a little bit about the Patriots. I saw them play the first game, and they looked very, very solid and good against the Bengals, of all people. High-powered team, Joe Burrow. They came in there and they shut down their offense and did really well, and got a win against the Bengals. It was unbelievable. Coming to against the Jets, you would have thought they would have been at least competitive. I felt like this game was teetering around being over at halftime. Once the Jets scored again, I felt as if the game was over at that point, because it's not that it was technically over, but the Patriots really didn't do anything at that point, and they just don't have that type of offense that can come back from multiple scores. I felt like that that score 21-3, the way the game was going was pretty much out of reach, and the way Aaron Rodgers playing. But they need to get back to how they started off the season, and you can't just hand off the ball all day long. You have to make some passes. You have to make some plays. So the offensive line needs to do a lot better job of blocking. I think that's one of the things that was hurting in that game. But, they can get back on track. And, yes, so definitely a lot to cover today. A lot to cover. And we're going to talk a bit about the NFL as far as the games coming up. I'm going to break that down for you too. And let me do the prediction a little bit later in the show. And I did want to go ahead and turn to, the UFL for a second here. Let me go ahead and put this up here. And let me go ahead and see. All right. Yep. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yes. Yeah, so that's awesome there. Thank you so much, Aaron Trulson. that's fantastic. Always great to hear great comments there from you guys watching the show. And yeah, I mean it's been a great ride here doing this show. It really has been, and it's been a lot of great people I've met just doing the show, and also great experiences, awesome experiences. I mean, I know you people were asking about the website. I'm glad I did get the website done. There's a couple little tweaks we're going to do along the way to improve. And that's what I learned about this industry, is that you got to look at ways and reevaluate yourself, how you can get just a little bit better every single week. And you can't let stuff boggle you down. Great thing is now, like the blog talk didn't work. Well, we have now the live streaming, so we have another option for you. And I apologize about that. It should have been easy for you guys to go to the website, just click on listen now, and been right to the blog talk and listen to it. But it wasn't meant to be. The blog talk, again, for those who just joined the show, is down, and that's blog talk radio. Sometimes it works great. And the biggest reason why I keep blog talks, for those who don't know, unlike a lot of other formats, other formats, you have to have good audio equipment, which, thankfully we have now. Other formats, a lot of times, in order for you to be on the show, you have to kind of like know the host and at least have a link to join in. The great thing about Blog Talk, why I keep it accessible, is that it does have a unique feature that you can call in, kind of like how things are on a radio show. You can call in. That's a unique feature that Blog Talk does have. By this time, Lou would have already called in. He probably wondering, like, what's going on? Lou loves to call in rather than communicate via chat, but it's down, Blog Talk. But that's what I do love about Blog Talk, is that you can have the ability to be in another state, all the way across the world, and call in and talk live on the show. That's really, really awesome. Not just text chat. They'll be able to hear you. So we'll see if the other formats at least have that feature and more. We'll kind of keep looking, but we used to do Zoom a lot. Now we do the StreamYard because it's more accessible. So, and it allows you to pull up things. I also wanted to mention, in fact, let me pull this up here for the UFL. I did want to go ahead and bring out that news, and we'll kind of circle back to the NFL. And they did send me the press conference for this. So the press release for this. And this basically, the press release, it's hard for you to see it from there, but the press release is letting you guys know that the season is going to start March 28th. And they already announced that, outside of the fact that there's going to be another season, which is really cool, is that they haven't made this announcement official yet, but I do believe the championship game is going to be played at Audi Field. That's where I feel as if the championship game will be. They did put up the dates. They also are going to have Friday night games. So that was another thing that was, for the general public, that probably was news to you. If you've been covering the show, I actually had some information for a couple of months now that they were going to introduce Friday night games. So it wasn't a surprise to me. It was more of a formality that they were going to introduce Friday night games. I like the fact that they're going to have Friday night games. I do think that would be cool because guess what? I've already been planning this and thinking about this when I first heard about it. We're going to take the show on the road. So as I cover UFL, I will find a game that I could cover, a Friday night game. Great thing is I'll be able to set this up right in the media center and do the show right there. It'll be kind of cool to do it while the game is on. I don't know if I'll do play-by-play commentary, but I might chime in and do stuff like that. We'll see. We'll see what the UFL approves me to do as far as live feed, because they do have networks, so I got to check that out. But the great thing is I will be able to do the show on Friday nights, which will be really cool. So they're at the stadium. So that's awesome. I was one that did say I like Friday night games. I think that's a cool thing. And I think it's a good thing because, the UFL did not struggle really with viewership. They did really well with people watching the games. They did outstanding with that. They struggled a little bit with ticket sales in certain areas. For example, St. Louis Battlehawks, as we know, they did awesome there. They did pretty good in Washington, but not quite as good as they did the year before with the XFL. So there's some room there. And the Brahmas, they did well there too, as well as San Antonio. So there was some pockets they did well. There was some surprises where they didn't do so well. They didn't do too well in Nashville. They didn't do well there at all, which is kind of surprising because they did have the USFL team there. And Michigan, it was a little bit surprising that they didn't do quite as well there. But the bright spot from that, Jake Bates is my one of my fantasy football players there on the fantasy football team because of his UFL connection. So it's really cool that you watch the UFL, we covered it. It was no surprise that Jake Bates was going to get taken by the Detroit Lions. We all kind of tracked this and saw it coming. Jake Bates, for that reason, is one of my kickers. The other kicker, too, is a UFL kicker as well. So I feel like I have the two best kickers in the league. It's kind of hard to pick which one to start because both of them do really well. I'm like, wow, they're doing great. I did start Aubrey a little bit more than Jake Bates, not because Jake Bates actually has a stronger leg than Aubrey, like he can kick it further. But I feel the way that the Detroit Lions are, they go for a lot of 4th and 2s. They go for a lot of 4th and 1s. They really are very, very aggressive. Dave Campbell. So Jake Bates sometimes just doesn't get the opportunity to kick field goals. That's just what it comes down to. I feel like he's in a great situation being in the NFL, but I kind of wish he would showcase his talent a little bit more just because he needs those opportunities. And because he's on the team he's going to get cut down on some of those opportunities because of how they go about their business. So definitely it was really cool. Let me break down some of the numbers here. 137 total players from spring football have been on NFL rosters. So a lot of the guys that you see in the NFL do have some of the UFL, I beg your pardon, do have some NFL experience. 62 players from the modern spring football are currently active in the NFL. Some of those are practice squad numbers too. And yeah, the numbers are impressive. And, what you like is that Daryl Johnson, he's saying that the workouts, you get a chance to go ahead and go for the UFL and get a workout with the NFL. Just having the opportunity is awesome. And there's just nothing but positive things about the UFL. That's why I love covering the league. For those who don't know, I will be at the Orlando September 29th, 7 o'clock in the morning. That's on a Sunday. I will be covering that event right there, the UFL Showcase in Orlando. I covered it last year when it was the XFL. Now that the name is the UFL, I will be covering that as well. I already communicated with them. I'm excited about it. I'm curious to see who shows up as far as players, as far as media. I'm curious also to see who shows up as far as coaches and upper management of the UFL, because last year it was the XFL as mentioned, but you had Coach Buckley from the Guardians, and he unfortunately is no longer part of this new league. I'm curious to see which coaches will be there at the showcase. That's coming up pretty quick. If you haven't done so already, visit theufl.com, theufl.com, register, and let your dream put it into motion. See if you can go ahead and make the team and then go from there. But yes, give it a try. Give it a try, Give it a try. Nothing beats a failure but a try. I'll put it up one more time. It's at Celebration High School, and these are the last two. They had, I think, 7 or 8. We're down to the last 2. So they're one in Orlando and San Diego. Visit theufl.com to register, because you can't just show up. From my understanding, you just can't show up. Make sure you pre-register. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL. But before we do that, we got to go ahead and thank another one of our outstanding sponsors here, and that is none other than the one and only CTC ME Mortgage. Hey, if you need a home here in Florida or Texas, that man right there can help you, Kurt McCrae. That's right, Kurt McCrae from CTC ME Mortgage can help you. Whether you want to buy a new home, refinance, you want to know what to do, how you can do creative things with the equity in your home, Kurt McCrae, CTC ME Mortgage can help you. Feel free to visit CTC ME Mortgage at ctcmemortgage.com or call or text for that VIP concierge service to Kurt McCrae right there, 346-527-7564. Again, that's 346-527-7564. I'll play another great Sam Scola song right here, the CTC ME Mortgage song. Thank you, CTC ME Mortgage, for being another one of our outstanding sponsors.
CTCME Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTCME Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Make the call today. There's no extra fees to pay. You can take a loan to own a new home. CTCME Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTCME Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Get a low interest rate, there's no need to wait. Finance a payment plan. Kurt McCrae is your man. CTCME Mortgage Company. CTCME Mortgage Company. CTCME Mortgage Company.
All right. Yes, indeed. You want that new home? Want to refinance? Anything that has to do with properties here in Florida or Texas, that gentleman right there, Kurt McCray, can help you. CTCME Mortgage. Again, that phone number is 346-527-7564. 346-527-7564. Or again, you can visit the website right there at ctcmemortgage.com. ctcmemortgage.com. Really appreciate ctcmemortgage.com for being an outstanding sponsor. And again, with all of these great sponsors that you see here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk show, for those who are just joining the show, you know, the website is available right there, allenalfordsportstalkshow.com, allenalfordsportstalkshow.com. You can check out any one of the sponsors that I'm mentioning here tonight, or show supporters, including Sam Scola Songs. You can access their website right from allenalfordsportstalkshow.com and a lot more. Again, you could do shout outs and much more on the website. Check it out. It is live. Check back frequently because we are still updating some things on there, but it looks great, and got to thank the website designers for doing it. And it's not as easy as you think, creating a website that you're happy with. So that was awesome. But yes, so a lot of NFL news to discuss. I'm going to actually, on second thought, let me do the picks a little bit later. Let me talk about something that happened that was just phenomenal. I mean, I can't believe. See, this is the perfect example right here with Shohei Ohtani, why diversity makes everybody better. This man is the first player, a Japanese baseball player, of all the years, over 100 years of baseball. This gentleman is the first player ever to hit 50 home runs and 50 steals in a season. You're talking about Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, I mean, Hank Aaron, the list goes on and on and on. Willie Mays, the late great Willie Mays and the late great Hank Aaron, may both of them rest in peace. But man, Alex Rodriguez, this gentleman hit 50 home runs already and 50 stolen bases, and he's a pitcher. It's just unbelievable. I mean, you know, why they throw him high fastballs, I just don't get it. Like, that's the pitch that you know that if he connects, it's gone. If you throw him a high fastball, I mean, yes, a lower pitch would be a better option. But if you throw him a high fastball, man, it's gone. It's just impressive to watch. You know, he hits opposite side of the field home runs. I can't believe that in all the years that we've had Major League Baseball, he was the first person to do this. You know, even Ronald Acuna. I mean, we've had, 70 and 40, but not 50-50. And this is why diversity makes a difference. This is why I feel like back in the day when they did not allow the black and brown community to play baseball, it hurt the guys that were playing, because you have another dynamic of players that could play that will force you to play better. Shohei Ohtani forces you to play better as a pitcher, and if you're a player trying to keep up with him, he forces you to play better. You know, like, I know Judge wants to finish the year with more home runs than Shohei Ohtani. He's not going to come out and say it, but it's pretty obvious you do. He has to continue to hit home runs. This is why diversity makes people better. This is why if you play with just one demographic of people and you exclude everyone else, it's hard for me to say you're the best in that regard, because you're excluding potential competitors, potential people that can maybe do better. You know, people always try to have an ethnocentric point of view. For those who don't know, I'll break down what that means. Ethnocentric point of view means that you feel as if your way is the best way and the only way, and everybody else is secondary, third, or fourth, and the list goes on and on. That's what they call ethnocentric. You feel as if your culture is the best and superior to everyone else's, but you won't consider that somebody else might actually
have a culture that's maybe even better than yours. You're kind of close-minded, so to speak. Absolutely do think diversity makes everybody better. You're competing against a broader scope of people, and it makes the league better, the game better. Hey, we've seen players, Shohei Ohtani. Next year, guess what? Ichiro, another Japanese player, is going to be inducted into Hall of Fame. It's really just a matter now if he's going to be unanimous or not. As much as I think he should be unanimous, before I forget to say this, I don't know if he's going to actually be unanimous. And the reason being is because I'm giving you guys some behind the scenes intel here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Based on me covering the Cooperstown Hall of Fame this year, I talked to a lot of the writers, the people who can vote. And the reason I'm not saying is this is like, you should just agree with this, but it is something you should consider. A lot of the voters, they told me you can only vote for 10 people. They've told me that there will be a player, such like an Ichiro or somebody who will be inducted. They will get 75% or more. So it's not a question of whether they'll make it or not. It's rather a question of whether they're going to be unanimous or what percentage you're going to end up with. Some voters, because they know somebody like an Ichiro will definitely be over 75%, they'll save that vote from giving it to Ichiro to somebody else who might be getting taken off the ballot or might need that extra boost to make it. It could be a situation where you're trying to prevent somebody from getting kicked off the ballot or helping somebody who's maybe teeter-tottering of making it. You would save that one vote from Ichiro and vote for someone else. That is something that I did not know until I went to the Hall of Fame and actually covered the Hall of Fame. So when I heard that, you know what? That does make sense. In a way, you're trying to give somebody an opportunity to make it or get taken off the ballot. When I heard that point of view, I was like, you know what? That actually does make sense. And that's the reason why I feel another thing that they did tell me is also it depends on the year that you're being inducted, meaning who are you being inducted your class with, who's in the pot with you that we have to vote for too. So if you have a very strong class of people, there is going to be less of a chance you're going to be unanimous. If you have a class of people who are maybe not up to your standards, maybe they might make the Hall of Fame down the road, but they may not be a first ballot Hall of Famer like you, the chance of you being unanimous or having higher votes increases. So there's a lot that actually goes into it when I did get a chance to speak to people actually vote for, the Hall of Fame. So just something to consider, to think about, So as much as Ichiro, I believe, in my opinion, deserves to be unanimous, I'm not 100% sure he will be unanimous just because the class of people that he's coming in with, they might spread out the votes a lot because of that. I mean, he's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer, first ballot. That's 75%. It's going to be somewhere in the 90s for sure, but I don't know if he will get 100%. I will say this much, though. I'm curious to see how it is covering the Hall of Fame next year because Adrian Beltre had a lot of media support from the Dominican Republic. He had a lot of people from the Dominican Republic covering him. I know that with Ichiro making it to Hall of Fame, it's going to be 3 times that. It's going to be crazy. It's just going to be so many people covering Ichiro and things like that. Because even Hideki Matsui, when he played for the Yankees, he would have 6 guys around him at all times covering him. Just imagine how much Ichiro's going to have. It's just going to be a lot. But props to Shohei Ohtani. Congratulations. That is an outstanding achievement. 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. The first player to ever do that. That's the thing that's mind-boggling. With all the talent that we've had, he's the first player to actually do that. You got to give him props, man. Guy from Japan. That's hey, you just got to tip your hat. That's just a phenomenal achievement. Got to give him props. So another thing in Major League Baseball, the Yankees made it. The Yankees have clinched a spot. And I like what they're doing. I think they have a shot. I definitely do think so. One of the things I do wish the Yankees did a little bit more was manufacture runs. They got, I feel like they're only going to go as far as that home run ball goes. And I don't like my team or one of my teams to just be kind of like one dimensional, because you know how it goes. When you get to postseason, it's hard to get home runs. And, I don't want my team to be, just relying on a home run to score runs. We've seen this before. That's the reason why I felt I was not surprised when the Red Sox came back to beat the Yankees in 2006, I believe. I could have the year wrong, but 2009, when they came back and beat the Yankees and they won 4 straight. It did not surprise me that the Red Sox actually did that, because of the fact that they could manufacture runs, and the Yankees weren't as good with that. The Yankees were more like, home run hitting team. They had a lot of great hitters, Gary Sheffield and Alex, but as far as manufacturing runs, the Red Sox knew how to do that really well. So it did not surprise me. You got to play small ball in the playoffs, but it was awesome. I did want to also talk about something else, but before you get into that topic, it's a little bit more serious of a topic. I wanted to go ahead and thank another one of our outstanding sponsors here, and that is Pushpin Adventures. That's right, Pushpin Adventures. If you need help with international travel, domestic travel, this is also group travel, it's corporate event travel. They can help you. That's their specialty. This is international and domestic. You want to take a great cruise, they can help you. Pushpin Adventures. That's right. Check them out. Make sure you give them a call as well, and let them know that you got referred to them by the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. You can visit pushpinadventures.com. If you want to know more about the cruise, pushpinadventures.com/virgin. Or you can go ahead and get that VIP service just like Kurt McCrae and give Monique a call. She's the one right there in the center on a camel, 626-838-1006, 626-838-1006, Pushpin Adventures. We're going to play another great Sam Scola song, and that is the Pushpin Adventures song. Thank you, Pushpin Adventures, for being another one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. So let me go without further ado, play that song for you.
Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Book a trip with Pushpin Adventures. Travel on a cruise with Pushpin Adventures. Take a vacation with Pushpin Adventures. Tour around the world with Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Make a reservation with Pushpin Adventures. The best value deal with Pushpin Adventures. Plan a getaway with Pushpin Adventures. Escaping today with Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin
Yes, Pushpin Adventures. Really appreciate you. Man, them destinations look wonderful. Make sure you guys don't forget to give Pushpin Adventures a call. Monique, right there at 626-838-1006. And that's 626-838-1006. Or feel free to visit them at pushpinadventures.com. If you want to check the cruise, pushpinadventures.com/virgin. Definitely. Thank you so much, Pushpin Adventures, for being another one of our wonderful sponsors here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Really appreciate you. And definitely don't forget, if you just joined the show, the website is up. If you do miss any one of these outstanding sponsors and you want more information on them, Sam Scola songs, visit the website, AllenAlfordSportsTalkShow.com, AllenAlfordSportsTalkShow.com, and you could access all the sponsors, major supporters of the show, and have an opportunity to be mentioned on the show, get a shout out, and a lot more for you or someone else. We're also going to add on some other things, birthday wishes, and much more coming on the website. So you can be mentioned on the show for as little as $5. This will be awesome. So thank you guys for your support. And we're going to go ahead and continue on here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. One topic I have to discuss, and I promise you I'll get to the picks, is I have to share my thoughts. And this is after doing extensive research on this. One thing about me is I like to get all the facts. This is the Shannon Sharpe, him going Instagram Live. And for those who don't know, Shannon Sharpe, this past week went Instagram Live, and allegedly it was an accident. For those who, you could check Twitter, you can search, and you can find it. It's still on the internet. It's not hard to find. Go to YouTube. And he went accidentally, allegedly, Instagram Live while engaging in activities. Let's say it like that. Okay? You don't see any actual video. The phone is face down to the ground, but you can hear. The audio is actually very, very good. And I'm going to get into that a bit later, but it's only about 1 minute and 30 seconds, and then it cuts off. Okay. Now, allegedly, this was an accident. Shannon, what he said, I watched his video too. I watched it a couple times. What he said was that he's not technologically inclined. He threw the phone on the bed and he went IG Live, unbeknownst to him. He had another phone and people was FaceTiming him on that phone to let him know, hey, you're going live. They can hear you in the background. One of his friends, he did eventually answer and said, hey, it sounds like you are having, you're getting in, having adult activities, so to speak. And his friend, who is very good at technology involved, cut the IG live feed, the Instagram live feed, then put up what he said also was that he was hacked. And that was him putting up the post. Now, for those who don't know, if you do have a social media account, you do have an opportunity for you and somebody else to be the manager. It's kind of like a hybrid, meaning I could post as well as they could post on my page too. So that is not out of the norm. A lot of celebrities, high profile people, actually, not all of them manage their account. Some do, some don't. Most of them do a hybrid. They can manage and post stuff up, but they also have somebody else who fills in the content and puts in stuff for them. Okay. I actually went IG Live, Instagram Live myself, and that was during the Scottie Pippen event. Okay. I don't go Instagram Live too often, but I did go Instagram Live for those who missed this event. That was the Digits event. Scottie Pippen, Digits Bourbon. Shout out to Digits Bourbon, by the way, for agreeing to collaborate on the Instagram post, and you can see that on. So now my picture's on their Instagram feed there, which is really cool.
The thing about this, why this is relevant and important, is because I went Instagram Live very recently, about 2 weeks. And in fact, you can see the feed of that there on my Instagram page. And that's significant because I told Scotty, hey, after taking a bunch of pictures, we was about halfway through the event. I was like, you know what? Maybe we should go IG Live, so let people see this. And I asked him, and I told him, would you want me to do that? And he agreed to it. He said, yes, sure. So I actually literally had to put my phone, my professional camera down, and pulled up my cell phone. And I went through IG Live. I'm not some of these females or some of these people who are, just whiz on the phone. I'm not technologically inclined, but I'm not probably as good as some of these females, J-Lo and them, who take a bunch of selfies and they know every ins and out of everything on the phone. I'm somewhere in between them, maybe closer to J-Lo than someone who's not technologically inclined. So I would say I'm about 60, 70%. There are people who are better than me and a lot that are worse. But I would say I'm above average, slightly above average. I went IG Live. I said, can you really go IG Live by accident? I went through the process. I'm going to be real with you. It's not that easy because you have to go to, not only if you just had the phone in your pocket, you have to press certain spots and it changes. Meaning you have to go in the corner to go to post. Then you got to go down to live. Then you got to go over here to live again. Then they'll ask you, do you want to go live? Are you sure you want to go live? Or do you want to just go live privately to check it out, test it out? Or do you want to go IG Live to show everyone? It actually doesn't want you to come back and say this was a hack job. It actually goes through a process before you go live. If he had the phone in his pocket, maybe I would believe that. If you're a female and it was in your purse, maybe I would believe that too. Because it's jungling around, it's possible. But to say you flung it on the phone on your bed and then you went live, I find it hard to believe, me going live just about 2 weeks ago. Not only that, the audio is the key. The audio was too good. And you don't see anything, but you allegedly hear stuff, and you don't really hear, what you typically would hear when you have adult activities. You're hearing just voices. You're not hearing anything other than that. I just, after doing the research, I don't think this, I'm going to make this clear, allegedly it was an accident. I don't feel, after checking the evidence, that this was an accident. I feel as if this was premeditated. It was set up very smartly, like in a way. Now, the repercussions are, I even listened to what Mr. Sharpe said after the aftermath about the fact that, he is a six-figure sponsor. He didn't mention a name, but he said his six-figure sponsor that he lost. And he also did say, yes, he's not being penalized by ESPN and losing his gig, but he did, a six-figure sponsor. Another thing he also did say was somebody dropped out of doing an interview with him, and he didn't say the name either. I can understand him not saying the names for those, and that I could actually agree with because of what's going on. It just seemed too convenient. Also, in that apology that he said, when he did the apology, after he did the apology, then he went from apologizing to boasting and bragging. And then you were selling and marketing, adult pills. Well, I don't have to tell you exactly what those are. I'm not going to mention names. But yes, you were marketing that. Now, if you go to Facebook, that kept popping up on my feed. That sponsored post of, hey, man, it just, to me, it just doesn't jive with me. It's too many coincidences that went in your favor. Now, having said that, Paul Pierce said that, hey, what about me? Why did I lose my gig and he didn't? Okay, that's a fair question. Paul Pierce going live was very different than Shannon going live. And they were different in this way. First of all, Paul Pierce, deliberately and intentionally went live. Allegedly, Shannon's was an accident. They're two different things. Shannon was an accident, allegedly. Yours was, hey, I'm gonna go IG live and show you guys what I'm doing. You was hanging out with some strippers, and that was done intentionally. There's already right there difference. Okay, you're kind of gloating about what you're doing in your private life where you shouldn't have actually been. The other one was allegedly an accident. Number two, yours had video and audio. His only had audio, and there was really no video. You saw the phone facing the ground. There was nothing. If you watch that video, there's nothing on that video you can actually see that's damaging or bad. You'll hear, but you won't see anything. And you actually won't hear the component that we would normally hear, if you know what I'm saying? That's what made me also think that this is a setup too. You're missing the key component. And with the other situation with Paul Pierce, yeah, you're working for a company like ESPN. That is not a good look. You going live, having strippers, and you intentionally did that. This is where folks need to really understand that social media can get you in trouble. If you don't use it right and you're not mature in it, or you don't think about what you're doing, it can land you jobless, homelessness, and a lot of stuff. They're not the same. Paul Pierce and Shannon Sharpe were not the same. And allegedly, again, Shannon's was an accident, not done on purpose. There was no video really. It was mostly audio. Yes, there was video, but you saw the phone facing the ground. So yours, you saw what was going on, and you went live. Hey, man, no, they're two different things. They're not the same. So let me just throw that out there. And yeah, so I can understand. Another thing with Paul Pierce's thing was more like a dare me type of thing. What I mean by dare me to kind of discipline me, there was rumblings that ESPN and Paul Pierce were having contractual issues and also issues beyond that prior to him going live. It came across like, okay, more spite too than what a component was in there too. So yes, you're going to get a different level of repercussions when you're doing something spitefully or you're doing something to showboat and you have video. It's just intentionally too. So they're not the same. So my thought on that Shannon Sharpe thing, to just button this up, is, in my opinion, my view, after doing a lot of research, I don't believe it was an accident. I do feel it was premeditated. One thing that I will just say on this, Shannon Sharpe said, why would I jeopardize 100 million or 200 million earning capability by going live doing that? I have two words to say. Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy's a billionaire. A billionaire. A billionaire. And I read that whole 14-page indictment. I read it from top to bottom. Remember, I grew up in New York City, Brooklyn, New York. I've seen Puff Daddy's rise from getting fired as intern, starting his own company, rising all the way up to being the mogul that he is. So people who actually have more have taken greater risk. So when you say, why would I do it for 100 million? Well, my man is worth $1 billion. And what he did was just reckless. And there really wasn't any money involved. In fact, there was costing you money. There was no money you were making doing that. And, allegedly. But yes, people do take foolish risk for nonsense. It happens all the time. And I will say this much to our black and brown community. We got to do better, man. We can't have all of our guys who are making it to the top, getting this level of success, end up, let's look at the history. You see Puff Daddy, R. Kelly, the late, great Michael Jackson ran into some law. We're not going to go into that either, but this is what's happening to us. We got to do better, the black and brown community. I will say this to my people. I want you to understand this, that handling success is more important and more valuable than handling failure. When you're successful, everybody wants to be a piece of you. You have to handle that. You can't let your head get too big. You can't let your ego get too big. What I say about that Sean Diddy thing incident, too much money, too much success, too much ego. Too much money, too much success, too much ego. And with the Shannon Sharpe thing, the parallel to that is why I think this was done. I think this was done for a few different reasons. I think the motivation was, unfortunately, Shannon got into, there's been a rumor that the man is, he's, I don't know the politically correct way, but just say likes, the same sex, gay, whatever you want to say, but allegedly that's what the rumor is. I personally, if it is true or not true, it's not something that I'm going to judge against him or what have you. But I think he wanted to clear that up. That was one component of motivation. And allegedly, I think the other component of motivation was to get some clout. He had sponsors who sponsor his show are people who produce these type of adult pills. And he actually plugged them right after the apology. So there's that component too. And so, yes, there's money that you could potentially lose, but you also, the reason why people do things because they feel as if they can get away with it. They don't look at it as a risk of $100 million I'm going to lose. They look at, hey, I can take this risk. Nothing's going to happen. That's why people risk things. So they feel as if they can do it and get away with it, and it's just business as usual, or you can't prove it. And that's what it is. But eventually, as that goes on, you'll find out, yes, you can prove it. So, yeah, just black and brown community guys, man, you gotta understand these opportunities don't happen too often. You have to be able to handle success, and you can't let your ego get the best of you. You can't let these things consume you, because I'm gonna be real with you. I had to, because of the situation, I'm gonna be real with you. I had to unfollow Shannon because of that. Because same thing with P. Diddy. He's not, when you start doing stuff like this, and I feel as if, there's something there, because I don't just come to that conclusion that easily. But when I feel as if, there's something there, I can't be associated with that, even if that is following you, and yes, allegedly it was an accident. I don't believe it is, in my opinion, in my view, but we will see as time goes on. And I will just say that let's switch gears and talk some NFL picks. Let's get down to the picks. Hope you guys are doing good in the NFL fantasy football. So far, in one league, I'm 2-0. The other league, I'm 0-2. So that's where I'm at. I hope you guys are doing better. That's where our fantasy football is. Doing pretty good in one league, not so good in the other. But the good news is you can't give up. I went 0-3 in one league last year and ended up getting to the Super Bowl. I did end up losing in the Super Bowl. And I have won a fantasy football Super Bowl. It's not easy. It's not easy, folks. But I did win one in a league. But yes, I hope you guys are doing all right on that. Let me pull up the picks that I have here for you, and let me break that down for you. And let me go ahead and so don't give up. If your fantasy team is 0-2 like mine in one of the leagues, or 1-1, it's still a long season. You still got, there's 18 games. Usually most of the time it doesn't go to 18, but you got about 12 to 15 in there. So it should be fun. So we have week 3. The Jets did away with the Patriots. I did predict that the Jets were going to win. Props to Lou. I know Lou is a big-time Jets fan. That was a great game for the Jets. We have the Eagles versus the Saints. It's actually going to be a very good game because the Saints are doing really well. The Eagles are starting to do a little bit better. as much as I really want the Eagles to kind of win because the Saints are in the same division as the Bucks, I do think the Saints are going to win this game. I just think that the Eagles are going to get better as the season goes on, but I don't think they're there just yet. And I think the way the Saints are playing, I just going to give the edge to the Saints. We have the Broncos and the Buccaneers. Needless to say, I got the Buccaneers winning that game there. Bears versus the Colts. This is going to be an interesting game as well, but I do think the Colts are going to find a way to pull this one out. Dolphins and the Seahawks is going to be another great game. I do believe the Seahawks are going to win this game. And for those who missed when I talked about Tua, let me just say that here again because I want to have this on record. Yes, unfortunately, I said it even before he had this last concussion that I think it's time for Tua and his family to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? You're 28 years old. You have a long time ahead of you. If you take good care of your health, hey, man, you can take care of your family. The risk at this time is far greatly outweighing the reward. You can't, if you have something serious that happens to you, when it comes to these concussions, it can be to serious brain damage that's not repairable, and also being paralyzed. The risk, they're saying that if you were get a buyout, you would get at least a $125 million buyout, and you wouldn't have to play another game. To me, most NFL players, somebody who covers UFL, don't get that opportunity at all. To me, I think the decision is pretty clear. It's not that I don't think Tua Tagovailoa is not good enough to play this game. I just don't think he's physically fit to play the game. The big difference. I don't feel as if he's physically fit to play in the NFL. So much so that you could tell the players that are playing on the field are already like scared to touch him. You could just read their body language. It's almost not fair to the players who are playing because if Tua is running for the first down, let's say, and he's going out of bounds, you would be nervous to even push him out of bounds. Not so much because of flag, but because you might push him and he might fall. He's almost like that movie Unbreakable and get concussed or worse. So you can't play the NFL football game in that fragile of a state. I'm sorry. If his name wasn't Tua Tagovailoa, if it was a different name, I would recommend that you shut this down, take a nice buyout, nothing for you to feel bad about. Hey, you walking away with $125 million and you don't have to play. That's actually a pretty damn good deal. You know what I mean? Excuse my French there, but that's a good deal. And I know he's a competitor and everything, but as a competitor, you even have to think that, hey, is it fair to a player who doesn't want to push me out of bounds or even touch me because they're afraid that I'm gonna get concussed? It's almost like watching the movie Unbreakable. It's like Damar Hamlin said, you basically ran into him in his thigh, and Damar Hamlin basically, you can even tell he eased up. He didn't want to even be a part of that, and you got concussed. Imagine going out of bounds, someone pushes you out of bounds just because you're competing and they just, they're not thinking about it. It can be worse, man. It's time for Tua Tagovailoa to have that conversation. I'm really surprised and disappointed that the NFL hasn't stepped in or the Dolphins to make this decision. Like, it's clear. I'm not a doctor, but come on, man. 4 concussions in the last two and a half years? It's too much. It's just too much. Hey, speaking of concussion, watch that movie Jerry Maguire. You saw what the kid was saying to Jerry Maguire for not stepping up and stopping his dad from himself. The kid, he gave the finger and everything. The kid was like, come on, man, step up and do something. And that's when Jerry Maguire had that intervention. A kid had to bring him to light that, hey, wake up. Stop thinking about just, him playing and think about yourself. Think about the person. Hey, this is his 5th or 6th concussion. Is it somebody's telling him to stop? You know what? That kid was the smartest kid in the room. to a tongue of like, oh man, you got nothing but props, respect for me. This is not hating. This is not a guy who wants to not have you get your goal. It's time, unfortunately, to hang up those cleats. So with that being said, I have the Seahawks beating the Dolphins, 49ers and the Rams. It's going to be a good game. I think the 49ers are going to win this game. Ravens and Cowboys. That's going to be a good game, too. That's going to be a real good game. I have the Ravens winning just because I feel like I don't feel as if going 0-3 is going to be a good situation. So I have the Ravens squeaking out a win against the Cowboys. Jaguars and Bills. I have the Bills winning. Bills are really looking really good this year. And props to Diane because she's a big-time Bills fan. She would have called in today too, but unfortunately the Blog Talk is down. I apologize for that. We have the Giants and the Browns. The Browns, I don't know what's going on with them, but I feel as if the Giants will get their first win here. Texans and the Vikings. This is going to be a good game too, but I have the Vikings winning. Packers and the Titans. It's going to be a good game too, but I'll pick the Packers on this one since Aaron chimed in. Chargers and the Steelers. I actually have the Steelers winning this game. The Panthers and the Raiders. It's going to be a good game too. I have the Raiders winning. Lions and the Cardinals. It's going to be a very good game, very competitive. I'm going to go with the Cardinals on this one. I'm going to go on a limb and say I think the Cardinals are going to win the game. Chiefs and the Falcons. This will be a very good game too. Falcons actually coming on pretty strong. I just feel as if the Chiefs are going to squeak out a win. Commanders and the Bengals. I have the Bengals winning. So those are my picks for week 3. And it's going to be a great weekend. And let me just make sure that, yep, I got all of those topics discussed. Yes, so we are doing big things here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Still working some things for those, again, who just joined the show. The new website is up and running, AllenAlfordSportsTalkShow.com. Visit the website. Check out the sponsors. Check out opportunities to make shout-outs to the show. Check it out right there, AllenAlfordSportsTalkShow.com. And then, props to you guys for your support. Really appreciate you. And let me talk about Sam Scola. Sam Scola is on the website. He made the website. He made the website. Sure did. Big time supporter of the show. We take care of Sam Scola. So Sam Scola songs, anyone throughout the broadcast. You can catch Sam Scola songs, all the songs, including the intro and the outro song. Sam Scola songs are available on YouTube and Spotify. Check that out. Want to thank Sam Scola's songwriter Sam Scola Songs and his wife Mary, definitely for their support. Let me, in fact, go ahead and show you guys how we look out for Sam Scola Songs and his wife Mary. Let me go ahead and pull that up for you guys right here. Sam Scola Songs, that's the poster. And, that's awesome, man. A great poster. He did send me a video, little behind-the-scenes thing. Unfortunately, the video was in a different format for me to put up on StreamYard. I'm actually going to get with somebody who has another show and see and talk to them. I haven't spoken to them to see how you can actually pull up YouTube and things of that nature while going live. That's the cool thing about StreamYard. I think I may have to go. I have the mid-tier plan. I may have to go up to the higher plan, but mine, I don't have that option on here. But that is Sam Scola Songs poster. Working on getting his video up here for you guys. That's the man, the myth, the legend, Sam Scola Songs, the man who's written all the songs on the show. That is Sam Scola Songs. Sam Scola Songs right there. And if you want to get in touch with Sam Scola Songs, there you go. He needs that big contract. Make sure you guys give him something that's real good. Don't come half-stepping. Come correct. singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Check it out. And again, all of the songs you hear are available on YouTube and Spotify. And they were available. They were available on the IG Live, IG Stories, and Facebook, but they're no longer there due to Meta, which is the company that owns both. Talking about copyright infringement, so we'll see. That's corporate America for you. And without further ado, want to go ahead and thank again the myth, the legend. Another one, that is Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need support group. Make sure you visit Chef G's right there at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, it's okay. Visit Chef G's right there at flbbqsauce.com. And it's flbbqsauce.com. Don't forget that great sauce. So without further ado, let's play the Chef G's Florida Barbecue song by Sam Scola Songs.
Comes in four varieties. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
All right, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need support group. Make sure you visit Chef G's right there at flbbqsauce.com. And it's flbbqsauce.com. Don't forget that great sauce. It's delicious. Honey mustard, heat wave, fusion, and classic. Get some Florida scan. That's right. Check it out. Let's talk to you guys. And yes, so we're gonna go ahead and you guys again. Definitely thank you guys for it. Thank you to all our sponsors there. Thank you so much for that. And you guys are awesome. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Sam, for those songs. I know you guys will apologize again. The blog radio was down. We're still able to rock and roll here on the Allen Sports Talk Show. Definitely check it out. AllenAlford.com, AllenAlfordSportsTalkShow.com. And you can check there. You'll be able to see all of our social media platforms. We appreciate your support and following. But yes, I'm going to end with another Sam Scola song. Sam Scola outro song. Appreciate you guys. Be blessed. Be well. Until we meet again, take care for now.
It's the end of the show. Let's thank all the fans before Sports Talk Radio Show. Thanking our special guest. Thanking our sponsor. It's the end of the show. Tune in again for next week's show. It's the end of the show. Thanking our host before we